Armson Phenoma. The Armson Phenoma is a firearm that emits a subtle aura of assurance. It is a kind of assurance that does not attempt to dazzle you at once, but gradually wins you over as you get to know it better. It has a charm that comes from being a contemporary semi-automatic and at the same time being so simple in performance that it goes by the name of being mired in practical use. The critics' remarks on modern semi-automatics being too intricate have been countless, but at the same time, Phenoma quietly shows that fast and dependable can be two sides of the same coin without any hassle. It delivers a very smooth cycle, is perfectly balanced when you hold it, and does not even attempt to be spectacular. Honestly, this is quite refreshing in a market that is already heavily dependent on gimmicks. This is the kind of shotgun that looks like it has been created by people who really use the equipment rather than just sketching it on paper. For those who prefer reliability over glamour, this one will soon gain the esteem. Akar Churchill 612. The Churchill 612 is a classic that never goes out of style, and that is why it is so popular among gun lovers. It is a very basic pump action that does not try to be modern. On the contrary, it gives all the confidence of being a mechanic to everyone as they can work it with their hands. The critics claim that pump shotguns are not useful anymore, but when this shotgun's great recoil and comfortable nature are experienced, such an argument is usually disproven. The movement is very smooth, and the quality of the material is very clear. On top of that, there is a tool that does exactly what you expect and gives no surprises, which is very comforting. It won't be a replacement for the prestigious position, but will handle the job, and this feature has kept it attractive even in a world of ever-changing trends. Sometimes, simplicity truly is the best choice. Tokarev Titan. The Tokarev Titan is one of those shotguns that something really and indeed is a character, and it won't even try to hide it. A very beautiful and at the same time modern and aggressive piece of art, the gun is still very much usable. Tactical styling has always divided people, and the Titan does not just exist as a gimmick, but rather reminds of the good old days. One cannot avoid giving the gun a doubtful impression since it possesses almost serious, not-so-loud presence, quickly drawing, smooth handling, and almost serious, not-so-loud presence. It is not just the connecting point between the still reliable old manufacturing and the new design, but even the preacher to both the young and the old. If you like to have the latest gear but still be cautious of the reputation that comes from the hard way, then the Titan is your man. Black Aces Tactical Pro Series. The Black Aces Tactical Pro Series immediately became a strong contender, and there was still no consensus on the matter. The typical skepticism directed towards new names was still lingering, but the one that caused the conversation was recognized as a good option at a price so low that people were surprised and had to verify the price again. Accessibility is the main feature of the shotgun. It is not intimidating, it is not too difficult, but rather just plain and efficient. At first, there were concerns regarding the gun's lifespan, but daily usage soon started to give a different picture. Such a gun could be sorted as a shotgun for the users who want to be in command without the struggle and confusion that unnecessary complexities cause. It is a good-natured device, and the longer you use it, the more of its pleasures it discloses. Dickinson Arms Commando. No doubt the Dickinson Arms Commando shotgun has a name that clearly indicates its expectations, and quite surprisingly, it meets them without making a sound at all. The shotgun is of such a character as not to be affected by noise, and this is very evident as soon as you shoulder it. It is small, well-controlled, and exudes such a quality that it can be classified for close range without making you feel jammed. There has been a lot of discussion about the drawbacks of comfort when using compact shotguns, but the Commando never becomes associated with that problem. It gives an excellent impression of being balanced, very quick, and surprisingly easy to handle even when running. If you put control and handling first, then this one silently stakes a claim in the discussion. Pointer Acreus Defense. Acreus Defense by Pointer is a gun that has been underrated quite a lot, and this is exactly what makes it so to be interesting. It is like a silent shotgun with the public first encountering it and then they asking themselves why it is not more recognized. This gun is quite a good pistol with a performance that can be accepted, and all this without any inconveniences. Some people might think of its absence of tactical features as less attractive, but that is indeed the reason why it is so effective. The very fact that it is so quiet. It gives a vibe of being classy and at the same time of being heavy, but not very strong. One of those so-called guns-looking tools that come to your mind only when real need arises and not just for the marketing show is this one. Yildiz Legacy. The Yildiz Legacy, without a doubt, carries forward the legacy of beautiful firearms and brings back the culture and storytelling of the old days together with the modern needs. The first impression it gives is that of an extremely well-crafted weapon so beautiful that it would not be possible to use it for home defense purposes anyway. However, once the gun's performance is known, this first thought disappears. It has such a low weight that it can be very easily handled, and the pointing is also very intuitive, and at the same time, the quality of the gun is nothing less than excellent. There are still a few who argue that beauty and toughness cannot exist together, but the Legacy continues to challenge this view. It is actually a proclamation that a shotgun can be very elegant in the hand and at the same time very strong for heavy usage. The user of this gun is a person who always prioritizes quality, and that quality is not only spoken about, but also experienced. Rite Masai Mara. The Rite Masai Mara is a weapon that reveals its character, and the main feature of it is reliability, which is the very pillar it stands on. It is reasonable to think that the gun had undergone severe testing before being released to the market. The gun's reliability is promised, and its lifespan is such that using it for several years is still within the limits before the quality yields. Thus, the superiority of this particular quality is what creates the impression of always being ready for use. There are different opinions and theories about its design and birth, yet the most important thing is how it performs in the field. A majority of the users see it as being the one that gives the experience of being both reliable and exhilarating at the same time, which is a huge accomplishment. If one is in search of a gun that would instill confidence merely by its grip, this one is the right choice. Con Arms Pump Tactical. Con Arms Pump Tactical is a super simple gun, and its simplicity is the feature that stands out the most. The pistol does not try to make a noise nor attract the crowd with its performance. Instead, it quietly provides a powerful pump action, which is at once extraordinary and reliable. The issue of how the tactical gun looks has been a matter of debate for a long time, whether it is good or bad, but in this case, it seems that the producer has gone for a purely practical choice and not a decorative one. The machine has controls that are very user-friendly, and it operates with a very slight movement. Consequently, one can be very confident it will not break down. This is a gun that stays true to the old ways, yet, at the same time, it attracts the modern buyer. Sometimes, such a balance is exactly what you need. Adler A110. The fame of Adler A110 is such that no amount of advertising could ever be up to it. The strengths of the shotgun most liked by the masses are its force, dependability, and the will to never break down. The firearm appears to have been designed eons ago and still not being a bother and providing good service with every passing year. Some people say it is too powerful for its own good, while the others assert that this is the very reason it is so good. It exudes a quality of reliability through its heft, the way it sits in the palm, and the consistency in its performance. If you belong to the category of people who prefer tools that not only survive the trends, but also the conversations, then A110 is definitely one of them. If you found this analysis helpful and want a no-nonsense version without pretension, then giving me a thumbs up, subscribe, and leaving me feedback in the comment box is your portal in that direction.